Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, The Lazy Bookworm. I am Rebecca, and in this video I'm going to give my top 23 books I want to read in 2023. A few videos back I gave you my TBR for 2023, and that TBR was pretty comprehensive. It also was books that were on my physical TBR that I own personally. But as you all know, I love going to the library. I love using our library's resources both in physical form and in ebooks. So I thought I would give you a quick rundown of the 23 books I'm going to borrow from the library in 2023. And this list is in no particular order. The first two books on my list are actually not books so much as authors. And number 23 is an H.G. Wells book. I have never read H.G. Wells, so I would really like to rectify that this year. I'm not sure what book of his I will read, that's why I just said an H.G. Wells book. Number 22 is a Jane Austen book. Now, I will do this for Jane Austen July, so I will follow the prompts and the recommended books that they're going to read. So that's why I didn't say a particular book, I just said a Jane Austen book. Dr. Thorne by Anthony Trollope. This is third in the Barchestershire Chronicles. This year, 2022, I read the first two, the Warden and the Barchester Chronicles. So next year I would really like to read the third, and that's Dr. Thorne. Number 20 is A Moment of War by Laurie Lee. This is third in his autobiographical trilogy, the first two being Cider with Rosie and the second one, As I Walked Out One Midsummer's Morning. I read the first two this year, 2022, and I really enjoyed them, so I really want to complete the trilogy. 19 is Circe by Madeline Miller. I read The Song of Achilles this year, and so I would like to read her other famous Greek retelling, and it is Circe. Number 18 is the Agatha Christie biography by Lucy Worsley. Sorry, I know there's a full title, but I've forgotten. I'm not really into biographies, to be honest, but this one did seem very interesting, and I do like watching sort of history documentaries by Lucy Worsley, so I thought it would be interesting to read one of her books. Number 17 is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. I have to admit, I don't know much about this book, except I think it's like a YA mystery fantasy novel. I admit I only like it partly because I've seen the cover, and the cover is just gorgeous. Number 16 is Maggie O'Farrell's Hamlet. I think this is like a kind of retelling of Hamlet. Other than that, I don't know much about it, except I've seen it a lot on BookTube, BookTok, etc. Number 15 is Haven by Emma Donoghue. I've read Emma Donoghue's Room. I've not read anything else by her, and I thought this novel Haven sounds really interesting. I think it's set in like a monastery or religious community in sort of, I think, the 11th or 12th century, and I think it's in Ireland. I could be wrong. Number 14 is Lincoln on the Bardo by George Saunders. Again, don't know much about it, except I saw it in my library and it looked kind of interesting, so I thought I would try and read it next year. Number 13 is Lair of Dreams by Libba Bray. This is the second in the Diviners series. I've just read the first book, The Diviners, so I'm very much looking forward to reading the second book. Number 12 is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Again, I've just seen this on like the booktubes and all that, and it looked kind of interesting. I think it's about this woman, Evelyn Hugo, and her life so told through her 7 marriages. Number 11 is A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf. I have read Virginia Woolf's The Waves. I didn't get it, but I hear this book is quite good. I think it's actually more like a non-fiction. I think it's like a series of essays. Number 10 is a non-fiction, and it is Devil Land by Claire Jackson, and it is all about the civil war that happened in England in the early 16th century. I think it was the 16th century. 16th, 17th century. Number 9 is Shirley by Charlotte Bronte. To be honest, I just want to read any novel by Charlotte Bronte, but I picked Shirley because of her other novels other than Jane Eyre. Shirley sounds a bit more interesting to me. Number 8 is Jazz by Toni Morrison. This is the second in the Beloved trilogy and a sort of sequel to Morrison's most famous work, Beloved, except this is set in the big city in the 1920s. Number 7 is Marple, 12 New Mysteries, and this is by various authors. 12 authors were chosen to write a new Miss Marple mystery, and this is their collection. I'm a little reluctant to read anything about Miss Marple that's not written by Agatha Christie, but a friend recommended this to me and I have been intrigued to read it. Number 6 is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. I have seen the film. I saw the film about 20 years ago actually, I think. But I've never read the book. Number 5 is The Dance Tree by Kieran Millen Hargrave. This is about the dance plague that apparently happened in the Middle Ages all around Europe and in England. I did not know this either until I think a few months ago. I think someone was reviewing this book and it just seemed really interesting to me how there just was this plague of people just dancing literally until they dropped dead. Number 4 is Time is a Mother by Ocean Vuong. I really enjoyed his book On Earth We Are Briefly Gorgeous, so I would like to read his second book. I think this is more poetry rather than prose. But number 3 is Little Woman by Louise May Alcott. Again, another classic I haven't read, which I'm hoping to rectify. And that leads me on to the second book I would like to read, and that is Dracula by Bram Stoker. Amazingly enough, I've never read the original Dracula. I've watched lots of like Dracula or Dracula-like movies, but I've never actually read the book on which it all started from. And number 1 is Rose Alatini's Despised and Rejected. I'm hoping to read that. I'm hoping to be able to get that from the library. This book was published, I think, in 1919, and apparently it was banned because it talked a lot about conscientious objection and pacifism, but it also deals with same-sex love as well. These are all the books, all 23 books, I hope to be able to get from my library to read in 2023. I hope everyone had a great Christmas or great holidays, and I will see you in the next video.